Hello, strong people. It is 2 days after the competition, the Iron Grizzly Classic, the prep that I've been posting for the last 6 weeks. I feel pretty good. To not keep you waiting, I won. It was pretty cool. I took, I'll get into it, whatever. So, we got there at like 9-ish. Things were supposed to start at 11? Yeah, 11. I don't think we actually started till we might have started at 11 or so. It was a little bit clunky to start. They weren't checking. They should have what typically is done at weigh-ins. They check your Strongman Corporation membership. Or like when you first get there, they check it. But they didn't do that for whatever reason. So we all had to line up there, like leading into the warm-ups to get everything checked. Which, whatever, no big deal. Event 1, deadlifts. Max Fubar deadlift. If you're unfamiliar, which you probably are, because I don't think anybody besides MB Power Center, Bartos, makes these. It's a thicker bar. It's like a thicker squat bar. It's like if you crossed a squat bar with an axle bar. The sleeves don't rotate. It's fixed. The implement itself is fixed. And but it's thinner. A little bit thicker than a squat bar. A little bit thinner than an axle. I think it's 1.5 inch diameter maybe. But this one was 13 feet long. And I trained on the axle, of course. But whenever we were doing the show, I was warming up on like a power bar. First time I pulled on a power bar, like ever. Well, at least since college. Not important. But I was warming up with a power bar, and I wasn't sure how this bar would feel. So my plan was to open at 10 pounds higher than my buddy, and then just match him so I didn't have to do any more. Risky. If I miss, that's a problem. But if it works out and you execute later on, you're in a good spot. So I think I opened at 670. Immediately, I felt whipped to the bar. Not too much, but enough. It felt like a power bar at 670. I planned on opening at like 7. So he went in at 670. I went in for it too. He said he did 660. I did 670. So smoked that, felt good, already on pace. He then jumped to 700. I matched him at 700. And then 750 is what he called. That's not a guaranteed weight for either of us. He hit it, so I had this to make a break for me. If I fail this, he's got me by a point already to start. He gets it. I get it easily. A little bit of a wobble at the top, which I seem to have at all my deadlifts. But I hit that pretty easily. I genuinely think 800 would have been there. It would have been a bit of a fight, but I think it would have been there if I needed it. So having, I think the ability to pull 800 on a stiff, thick bar, raw, that's huge for me. So event 1, a little bit of a weird mix-up there. The rules didn't explicitly state that higher openers, if there are ties, a higher opener gets the points. So I had to ask the promoters to see, did I mess up? Did I misread the rules? Because it's pretty much a standard across all shows. If you open higher and you tie at the same weight, whoever opened higher wins. They get the point. And I've tried, that strategy works. So that's what I went for. Initially, we were tied, and I asked around, and they're like, yeah, we didn't specify that, but that is pretty much what it is. So if they would have said otherwise, I would have been cool with that. That means I messed up, I misread the rules. So it is what it is. At that point in time, I was like, that half a point or point difference, that could be the whole show right there. Because my buddy and I are pretty evenly matched on everything else. And I don't want to undermine anybody else. It's just pedigree. We've both been at OSG. We've done pro-ams. We should be doing better. If we don't, we're not performing. So it was me and him to start. There were some good pulls though. People hitting huge PRs. I know one dude hit 30-pound PR. Shout out to Mike. Good for him. George, he hit some big deadlifts. I don't think he hit what he wanted to, but you can't be perfect, you know. It doesn't happen that way all the time. That's okay. Event 2, log ladder. This is where things kind of went a little haywire. It's tough to put a log ladder in a show, especially when you want to do it head to head. Depending on how many logs you have, you need. They should be matching, you know. If one log's different than another, one could be easier than the other. So you should have matching logs, and you got to have enough weights for each log. So there's 4 logs in each medley. The weights weren't quite right, so that took a long time. That set us back really far. But once we got to us, nobody had tried the Trump log. My buddy went up, he hit it for 2 reps. So I had to hit 3 to win the point there. I go in there, I hit 3, probably my best triple at 350 ever. I could have had 2 or 3 more if I needed it. I did it in like 30 seconds or so. So I'm pumped about that. That was great. Event 3 was arm over arm, I believe. Yeah, arm over arm. So the poor volunteers on this event, man. The sleds were stupid heavy. I mean, for a local show, there's a reason I signed up for this show. I haven't done a local show in 2 years. I've done regionals, I've done the Pro-Ams, I've done OSG, I've done nationals, but I have not done a straight up local show in a while. The weights just aren't enough of a challenge at this point, and that's not me being cocky, it's just me wanting to be better. This show had legitimate heavy weights, you know, heavy enough. So that's why I wanted to do it. But where was I at? Oh, arm over arm. Historically, not a great event for me. But the poor volunteers having to reset this sled, I feel for them. That was painful to watch. I was getting nervous for some of them. But finally, it was because me and my buddy were 1 and 2. We got to go against each other in this event. I knew that he was very good at arm over arm before. He beat the guy who won the arm over arm at nationals before. So I was like, this is where I'm going to drop points. I got to stay like top 3 here. I got smoked on this event. Not by he's a buddy too. But he beat me by like 8 seconds, Mike. It's ridiculous. I mean, he's not even close. He smoked me. My other buddy, the guy who was in second place, Frawley, he struggled, I guess. I was catching glimpses. We were pulling opposite ways. So both our sleds started in the middle and we were pulling opposite ways. So every time I'd lean up to re-grab the rope, I'd get a glimpse at where his was. And I think I was doing well, but I really had no idea. I finished and I felt like it was a pretty good time. 33 seconds, I think. What I said, 8 seconds back from Mike in first. And then my buddy, I had no idea what happened. No idea. So, and they were taking a little while to get scores updated, which isn't a big deal. But I didn't know where I was at that point in time. So they updated scores, and I was like, oh, I have like a 5-point lead at this point. I was like, what happened? My buddy, he was struggling. He barely finished that event. He took 5th. I didn't see that coming. Grip, I think, played a big factor there. And he knows this. Historically, his grip is not the best. Farmers, whatever it might be, it's iffy, hit or miss. So I did have that thought going into the arm over arm, but I didn't like bank on it. So there's 2 different types of arm over arm. There's the fast ones where you're, reset, fast. That didn't make any sense, but you get my idea. And then heavy ones where you got to really, it's like a deadlift every time. This one was like a straight up deadlift every time. So a lot of guys were having to wrap their arms around the rope by the end to finish it, which takes more time, but you're locked in. So I think he had to do that there at the end. So I took 2nd there, he took 5th. So I think I have a 5-point lead at this point. Going into yoke, which are both, they're good events for us. He's better, up to a certain weight I can hang with him. But once you get like 900,000, he's crazy good at yoke. I'm not quite there yet. But this was a weight where we're pretty evenly matched. I had a little bit of, not even a bobble, it's just I didn't control the swing enough on the yoke. It caught me a little bit, and I lost by 0.2 of a second, which is, I lost. He beat me. So that's something to practice later in the future. Control that swing at first. Just a mistake. It is what it is. So at this point, he gained a point on me. I think I'm 4 points up going into the last event. Oh, and I should mention, after log, we all came together and we're like, all right, the promoter, Anthony, he owned it. I've never seen a promoter own it like him. My other buddy, he's owned a couple mistakes here and there, but he owned it. I give props to anybody that owns their mistakes at a show like that. So he put it up to a vote. What do you want to do? Because we had to cut an event. It was raining. Sandbag toss had to go. So we did the arm over arm. So that's what we did. Took out the wheelbarrow portion too. So it was just arm over arm. Thank God, because wheelbarrow, to that, too much. Anyway, skip forward to the last event. So I'm 4 points up at this point. It is 6 bags. They removed 2 bags, just time-wise, made sense. So I don't know what the first few bags were, but it ended up being I think it was 265, 300, 350, 400. I knew I didn't have to do too much to keep my lead, but I really didn't know how this event would go, because I didn't train the full run at all. I didn't really train bags that much in general. So I wasn't sure. I wanted to do well though. This is training. I want to see how good I can be at my loading. So I see people go, I think one dude put up the 350 or the 2 maybe. So I knew if I put that up, I'd be fine. Loaded the first one. I was super proud. I am so proud of this sandbag run. Transitions were great, -1. Footwork was good. Picks were clean. Everything I wanted to do, I did on that event, just about. And I knew it was going to happen, the thing I'm going to talk about. I smoked the first 3 bags, whatever they were. One motion them all. I'm proud of my picks. I trusted my grip. I didn't mess around with the bag. I laid it over, grab, go. Got to 300. Something I do whenever I pick a bag, whenever it's standing up and I got to push it over to pick it, I always push to the left and I have the strap this way. So I don't want the strap touching my hand because the strap is slick. So I push it to the left, grab with my right, pull up, throw. The way that the 300 was set up, it was too close to the beam on the pole to push it to the left. So I pushed it to the right and I just wasn't well trained using my left hand in that way. So it messed me a little bit. It didn't slow me down too much, but I thought about it. So I could have probably shaved off another 2 seconds if I was better. I need to practice that, just throwing it to one side or the other. But I got to the 300. It went well once I picked it. 350. A little bit slow on the pick, but faster than I've ever done it before. This is where I'm really proud of this too. I pretty much vipered that 350 bag, and I threw it over the bar. I cleared it by a few inches. It never touched the bar, and I threw it. It's funny because in the video you can see my buddy Josh down at the bottom. He's like, "Did you just see that?" You can see his reaction. He told me that was the best sandbag load he's ever seen. Which is crazy. I didn't think much of it, but looking back and pausing it, looking at the triple extension, I was like, that was really good. I don't give myself credit all that often on stuff because I'm I can always be better, but that was pretty good. So I'm really proud of that. And then I gave the 400 a pull, but my biceps were feeling funky at that point anyway. So I started pulling on it and I started feeling things go, and I'm just like, nope, I didn't need it. I wanted it just because, but I didn't want it that bad. So all in all, I think I won that event, by the way. I don't know by how quick. I did the 5 bags in 23 seconds. That was pretty good. I think my buddy came second on that event, or third, one or the other. So I ended up winning by 6 or 7 points, I think, which was pretty cool. I didn't expect that at all. I thought it'd be 1 or 2 points all day. But anyway, I won a sword for heaviest deadlift. This thing's crazy. Like, this is a sword. This thing is heavy. It's legit. I don't know how sharp it is. That feels kind of sharp. I haven't really messed with the blade. That's kind of dangerous. But I want a sword for the heaviest deadlift, and then I got a cool little bear trophy for winning the whole show. I didn't know. I forgot about this. Anthony, the promoter, one of them, he's like, "How do you say your last name, just to be sure?" And then I'm like, I told him, and then he butchered it anyway, which is funny. Anthony's funny, which everybody butchers it. It's fine. But he called me up, and I was like, what's this for? It's not our class yet. And then he hands me a sword for heaviest deadlift, and I was like, oh my God, I forgot about this. So, and then I got a $50 gift certificate to Evolution, like Brian Shaw's brands. All three of them, whatever I want, $50 to whatever. I was like, oh my God, that's crazy. And then because I won the show, I got a $25 gift certificate to Cerberus Strength. I actually profited from the show. All right, no, not quite. I still had to pay for the hotel and food and whatever. But I earned more money than the entry fee, technically, I think. If not, it was very close. That's crazy. That's the most money I've ever made from a show. $75? That's insane. And I got a sword. So, all in all, I am very happy with my performance. I made almost no mistakes. I won't even say I made mistakes. I'd say that there's things I can improve on. I didn't quite mess up, but I didn't do, it was like 98% perfect, just about. I can definitely get better arm over arm. You can never be too good at sandbags, in my opinion. Log was good, deadlift was good. Yoke, got to control the swing. Granted, at other shows, I probably won't have a yoke that light ever again. I hope not. I don't have any plans to do a local show ever again. I don't think it's fair to me. I don't think I'm going to progress if I do local shows again. I signed up for this one because it was heavy-ish. It was like national level weights, like what they use at Strongman Corporation. So that was why I wanted to do it. That and my buddy signed up, and I know him and I going together. We push each other because we got bigger shows planned later in the year. So I think I covered everything. All in all, it was like a 12-hour day, like the longest show I've ever been a part of. It's whatever. I had fun. No injuries. I feel pretty good today. Got home really late, and I usually can't sleep after a show, and that's exactly what happened. So I was up till like 2:30, 3, and then I woke up at like 11. I was like, oh God, my day's ruined. And it kind of felt like that, but it's okay. Oh. On to probably regionals. I don't know. I'm still very undecided about that, but that's for another video. So I'm going to have some fun this week in the gym, test out some stuff for future shows maybe, and then pick up programming again. Like actual, what my coach tells me to do here probably next week or the week after. Until next time, go out, get strong, stay strong, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.